The Athene Real Talk Podcast explores controversial ideas to stimulate debate and active thinking. These ideas do not always reflect Athene's personal views. Welcome to the Athene Real Talk Podcast.
He has been called the best gamer in the world, hands down.
World-famous gamer and philanthropist Athene.
Gaming for Good, it's called, has raised more than $20 million.
Using his notoriety to raise money for charity.
On activism, science, culture, and self-development.
Proud to have him in the studio today. I would not want to take you on in a video game.
What I'm going to be talking about will give you guys a lot of direction. It will help you guys tremendously in being clear-minded, and it's also very helpful. It's something that can be easily explained and basically is the core essence of what is the difference between most people here and people that have it. It's truly like how I am. It's my constant state. What is it? What brings it about? I will just explain it, and it's very damn simple. Is to be in a state of flow. And I'm going to go and explain what I mean with that. And I will also say what it is that takes you out of it. A state of flow is just a state of being where you're just constantly in the present. And the moment you're not in the present is when you have certain thoughts or certain ideas or noise in your head. That's when you're not in the present, when you experience inner conflict, duality, whatever. Thing is, being in the present, being in the flow, is something that feels quite fulfilling. A lot of people say like enlightenment and stuff is actually this constant state of clarity. And that's what it is. You can be for the rest of your life in this state. That's how I live my life. That's how I achieved so much. That's how I am where I am. And that's something you guys can achieve very easily, actually right now. But in order to get it, I have to explain how it works. The problem and the reason why people are not in a state of flow is because they have expectations. They have expectations from other people towards them. They have expectations themselves towards themselves. They have an identity. They have concepts that they are emotionally attached to. That is the entire problem of why you're not in a state of flow. And I'm going to give a lot of examples because I can explain it. And I know I can explain it very properly. But with examples, it's much easier. Basically, being in a state of flow is in a state where you constantly know and just are doing the best you can do at that given moment. And that's it. But when I say the best you can do, I don't say like the best you can do for someone else or for me or for your identity. No, it's just in a clear-minded state where you say what is the most productive and the most responsible thing I can do right now. The problem with the society where we live in today is it is almost impossible to be in this state of flow. And the reason why is when you grow up and other people provide for your situation, your family, your friends, society, whatever, then basically what you do is like in order to provide for yourself, you gotta care about what other people expect from you. And as a result, you are in a constant fight of duality. And that's why you also need validation. The reason why most people have validation seeking, or even here, the reason why people are trying to do stuff, because they go like, oh, I'm afraid to get kicked out, or I need to be responsible, or I cannot make any excuses. The problem with that is that you have these concepts and even expectations that you have of other people about you is also a concept. You have a concept about other people, about being responsible, about excuses, about the clique, and you're emotionally attached to it. And as long as you experience expectations of other people, you can't be in a state of flow. It's impossible. As long as you are in this validation-seeking mindset, you cannot be in a state of flow. And you might say like, yeah, but I cannot provide for myself. I need other people. I am worthless. I don't have the ability to grow or achieve anything. I'm a loser. But even that, you have this concept, you have this identity is the most widespread concept in our society because we live in a very glorified individuality society where the individual is central. You can perfectly imagine 1,000 or 2,000 years ago that the concept was God or Jesus, and maybe 5,000 or 6,000 years ago it was the spirits in the trees or wolves. The thing is that your emotional attachment to concepts creates a framework where you cannot be in the present. You can't, because you're constantly channeling it through that. Let me give you another example, because mainly what I'm going to talk about is examples so people understand what I mean. You go like, fuck, I gotta work all day. You have the concept of working all day. You look at it, you go like, oh, I don't want to work all day. You work all week. You say like, oh, I'm going to take free on the weekend. Basically what you have is you have these concepts like I work all day, gonna be free in the weekend, and you are emotionally attached to them, and that is what's causing you to not be in the flow. But the thing is, if you can trust that you at any given moment will do what is best or what can be done better, then you don't have this channeling anymore. You don't have to think like, oh, I need my day free. No. When you think it is the best to rest, you just rest. When you think, oh, it's better to work or be responsible, that's what you do. Basically, you're constantly in this flow of action, and there is nothing that can disturb it. Because the only thing that can are emotional attachments to concepts that make you less able to be responsible anyway. A lot of what I have to say is deconditioning. Basically, when you grow up in a society where things are expected from you all the time, you create literally this weaponry of excuses. But what are excuses? And that's also why I was thinking about it. What are excuses? Excuses are merely weapons that you use to deflect expectations of others. You use one kind of concept you're emotionally attached to, like, oh, I want my day free, against other concepts that you're emotionally attached to that are expectations, and you basically are in a constant war zone where you never win, because just getting into this fight takes you out of the present, takes you out of the flow. The way I go through life is very simple, and this is how I went through life since I was really young. I wake up, I don't have a list of what I have to do. It doesn't even exist. I'm constantly just thinking, what is the best thing that can be done? And I just do it. And if I'm just in the flow doing it, of course I'm not thinking about it, but when I don't have anything to do, I just think, what is the best thing that can be done? And the thing is, you don't even have to be a rocket scientist or a genius. You can allow yourself to just know that if you're in front of a situation where you wonder what is the best thing that can be done, you just do it. And the problem is, like, even there, when you phrase it like, what is the best thing I can do? That's already flawed as well, because you're channeling it through the idea, through the concept of identity. No, just be. It's a state of being. You just are. And whenever you think and you ping to, like, this is who I am, I have to be responsible. I have to not make excuses. I have to click. No, you're going about it wrong. The click is not something you have to achieve. It's a state. It's a state of being where you're just constantly in the present and just do what is most logical. That's it. And it's not about, I gotta be more logical. I gotta be this. You're just emotionally attached to a certain concept. I gotta be like that. I gotta be responsible. And you impose these things on you because you are going about it in a wrong way. But if you just allow yourself and trust yourself to just be the most responsible at any given moment, and you just do what is best, then you liberate yourself from all these attachments. If you think like, yeah, but I don't want to give up games, or I don't want this, or I don't want, you have these emotional attachments to these concepts, but they are the boogeyman. They take you out of being in the present. They take you out of being in the flow. And the thing is though, being in the present or being in the flow, you can only achieve that forever and never lose it when on a fundamental level, you trust that when you are in that state, you will do what is best. And that's it. And the moment you have this relationship, you don't ping to other people anymore, because you know, as long you are allowing yourself to do what's best, you know that you're going to be taken care of. You know you will take care of the world. It gives you this sense of easiness. And when people come to you and expectations and stuff, you just have a much easier time to deflect them. Although, if you're in that environment and such, it is harder. It is harder to come into that state when everybody's just having expectations and stuff. But if you are aware of this and you really understand on a fundamental level that emotional attachment of what people say, what people do, of your future, of your past or whatever, these concepts are taking you away from being alive, from being in a state where you can be so much more responsible, so much more productive, and there is nothing that can go inside it, because you are all the time in the most optimal version of yourself. If you are the best version of yourself, whenever you just allow yourself to be in the present because you know you can trust yourself, then not only don't you care what people think about you anymore, you're not emotionally attached to it, you will just see it as a tool. You will just see it, what can I use this information? What can I use the past for? What can I use whatever in order to do better? And that's basically it. It is that simple. It's about a state where you just allow yourself to be in the present, in the current moment present, and nothing can go into it. And the best thing that I've understood is to give examples. Like, for example, valuing self-worth. You go like, yeah, I am this, I value myself. No, this valuing of yourself, thinking you're important or not important, or you're a loser or whatever, these are all concepts you're emotionally attached to that take you away from being in the present. They don't have any use whatsoever. You can be more productive, more impactful, more responsible, more right action, more logical when you just let go, more liberated, more fulfilled when you just let go and you allow yourself to just be in the present and go like, I will do what is best. And that's it. When people run around, even here, and are scared of me, there's certain people that are like, not just one, multiple people that are scared of me. Why scared of me? It's because on a fundamental level, they channel expectations from me to them because they think like, if he doesn't like me, I'm gonna get kicked out. But it's BS. Coming over here, it's about just being in this state of flow where you don't make any excuses and are responsible, but not making any excuses is not a concept you have to be attached. Like, oh, I don't make excuses. Oh, I have to be responsible. No, it's just a state of being where you constantly do what is best. I wake up. I never know what I'm going to do. I just always think what is the best thing I can do, and I do it. And if I'm tired, I just rest. So I don't have these ideas of, oh, I'm going to work today 12 hours. And then I'm attached to it. And then if something comes in between, I get frustrated. No, I'm just constantly in the now thinking, what is the best thing I can do? And I use reason and my intuition to guide me. But there is a catch to what I'm saying right now, though. Being able to trust yourself on a fundamental level requires yourself to know that you will do what is best. So if you just go and sit on your ass and go like, I'm doing what is best. No. It's about looking at reality and using reality as a framework that defines what the best thing is. Coming over here is a no-brainer because you know it's the best thing to do. Of course, you can then suddenly have all these emotional attachments popping up going like, oh no, but I don't want this, I don't want that. It's just about a state of being. It's not even about coming over. It's not about being attached to the concept of coming over. It's just something that flows automatic when you want to do what is best. And for some people, what is best is to not to come over. It's because they didn't reach 18, or maybe they even having a bigger impact. There is no such a thing. There is no concept in the world that you have to be emotionally attached to. And that's why I always say it's not about my thoughts. It's not about my opinions. It's not about my feelings. And the reason why I say that, and I keep repeating that, is because I don't have an emotional attachment to any of these concepts. I just am in a constant state of flow. I just try to do what is best. And there is nothing that can get to me. Because even if someone comes and start yelling at me or whatever, even if they make a good point, I just look at it and say like, I did my best. Because if you're in the constant state where you try to do what is best, then you cannot regret, you cannot blame yourself, you cannot feel guilty, you can't even feel low self-esteem. Because even if you're the biggest loser on the planet, doing what is best allows you to step by step grow and climb any mountain. It's about trusting that your sense of flow will take care of you and will take care of the world. But the only reason you're inner child and your subconsciousness will allow you to be like that is if you don't screw it over. If you don't make shit up. If you don't have these attachments and concepts that go against what you are. Because you know, and that's why this excuses hits you guys so hard. Because you guys know you're doing it all the time. But I'm telling you, if you're in this constant state of flow and you allow yourself, then even if you have thoughts about, oh, I feel pity or whatever. No, it's just a concept that you're emotionally attached to. And you know that. Just be in this constant state of present and make the state of present a flow where you're proactive and make a difference. And everything flows automatically. But even when I say that, it's not about, oh, so I have to be proactive. So I have to make a difference. Then you're already channeling it through the concept of identity. Do you understand? It's about just being. It's a state of being. It's a state of being in the presence and just being in a constant state of flow where you just do what you gotta do and that's it. And when I say you do what you gotta do, it's not defined by identity. It's not defined by expectations. It's not defined by what you want. It's not defined by what other people want you to do. It's defined by reality. Things are just the way they are. You do what you do. Done. You gotta eat, you eat. You gotta rest, you rest. Do you understand? I walk around. There is not one part in me that is telling me what to do. I don't go around saying, I have to do this, I have to do that. I go around through life just doing, it's just part of what I am. That's it. There is no duality. There is just clarity. There is no expectations from others that get to me, because I know that I can trust my sense of right action. I know I can trust logic. I know I can just do that, and that's it. That is the insight. I want to say, by the way, what is also very important, because I can explain this and you guys could maybe still go like, examples are the most powerful way of putting it for each person. The reason why you care what other people think about you, the reason why you let it get to you, is because you think on a fundamental level that you won't be emotionally fine when you don't meet their expectations. But if you know that being in the present will make everything fine, because you will do what is best at any given moment, you can literally have this sense of inner peace, because you know that you will just do it automatic. And that is what clicking is. Clicking is merely allowing you to be in this state of flow where logic drives you. And when I say logic, it's also partially intuition. You don't even need logic. You have this constant state where you try to do what is best, and you're not even attached to the concept, I have to do what is best. No, it's just a state that you're in. It's a state of being. So everyone that is having thoughts and going like, oh, this, that, you're going about it wrong. I never wake up and have thoughts fighting myself. I don't have it. And I see it a lot even here. A lot of people, what they do is they have these expectations towards themselves as well. They think like, yeah, I gotta do this. I have to do this and this and this and that. No. You don't need to impose these things on you when you know at any given moment you will do what is best at that point. You become ultimately flexible and you achieve a state of awareness, which some people call enlightenment, where you just go through life, moment by moment, one at a time, and just think, what is the best I can do now? And there is nothing that can go inside it. So the only reason why you care what other people think about you while you constantly ping is because you've grown up to not be able to trust this state of flow yourself, because they provided for you, your parents provided you, your environment, the society provides for you. But if you have the mindset of what is best, what is the best thing to do, and you let yourself guided by it, you will never lose it. And coming over here is an easy first step. It's a really easy one. And here, like, there is no expectations, nothing. Nobody expects, nobody judges. That's why it works so well. But still, people have expectations towards themselves. They say, I can't make excuses. I can't be not responsible. No, man. It's just part of being. Just be in the flow. Don't impose it on you. Don't have these concepts that you're emotionally attached to. It makes you less productive. It makes you less responsible. The most responsible thing is just to be, and to be consistent with what you are. That's it. You don't go against your own life or the life of others. You just see what you can do. And you use reason to contemplate constantly in the now. It's liberating. It's so liberating if you have this state of being. And that's literally the only difference between me and anyone else. It's this. If you're constantly in this state and you don't have these concepts that you're emotionally attached to and you just use them as a tool, GG. This is very simple. You have to understand, by the way, what I want to say is that the reason why you are validation seeking, the reason why you care what other people think about you, the reason why you feel not worth it is because on a fundamental level, you don't trust your ability when you are in the flow to not take care. But that's not true. Just the idea, what can be done better, is all you need in order to grow exponentially. So like all these things, throw it away. Throw it in the garbage. It's that simple. It's really that simple. This is what enlightenment is. You're constantly in the state of present and you just do what you gotta do at the moment, and that's it. There's nothing forced upon you. You just do it. You just are. No attachments to concepts. So if I trust myself that I will do the best thing in the flow, my emotional attachment to games or whatever will drop. Exactly. It will all go away. But you gotta really trust yourself and do it. It will just go away. Because you don't even have the need anymore to play games, because playing games is your need to be in the present, by the way. Because if you play games, you get distracted and you're just in the now. That's what you want. So if you can achieve the state of being in the present by being productive, man, you will like that a lot more. You trust the state of present and flow as it is directed by doing what is right based on logic. That's all. You just trust it. You trust you can do it. And then there's nothing that can come in it. There's nothing that can come in the now, because you're doing what is best anyway. Expectations of others, whatever. It's just emotional concepts that you don't even channel anymore through. And maybe it needs a little bit mindfulness here and there when you fall back in these things, but you immediately go like, oh, you can so easily pinpoint it. Oh, now I'm channeling it through that concept emotionally. I shouldn't be doing that. It's so easy. It's so easy to pinpoint it.
Subscribe to youtube.com/AtheneWins. Watch the live stream at twitch.tv/AtheneLive and follow the real Athene on Snapchat.